It's just past midnight when a phone shatters the silence in Michael Jordan's quiet mansion, the Michael Jordan, basketball legend. A distorted voice creeps through the line, whispering, "I have something that belongs to you, something you didn't even know was missing." Then, an email chimes. A single attachment reveals a worn leather journal, his name etched in faded gold. The cryptic note? Return to where it all began. 1 a.m. Courtview Community Center. A chill races through him as forgotten memories of a small-town court resurface. Who's behind this? What long-buried secret is calling him back? Hey, where are you tuning in from? A late-night couch in California? A quiet porch in Georgia? Or somewhere else? Stay with me as we unravel this mystery together. If this grabs you, smash that subscribe button for timeless stories. This is a tale of dreams, roots, and one moment that could rewrite everything. Let us dive in. It was a cool, quiet night in Midfield, a small Midwestern town where the echoes of old basketball games still lingered in the empty gymnasiums and faded court lines. Michael Jordan, now retired from the glare of the national spotlight, had been enjoying a peaceful evening at home, a rare chance to escape the relentless pace of celebrity life. He sat in his study surrounded by memorabilia of his illustrious career, the soft hum of a record player filling the room with the gentle notes of a classic jazz tune. Just as the clock struck midnight, Michael's private phone rang, a phone he rarely answered after hours. The screen displayed an unknown number. Despite his many years of experience and the layers of security built around his life, something about that call sent a shiver down his spine. He hesitated, then answered in a measured tone. "Hello?" A soft, almost whisper-like voice replied, distorted just enough to mask its identity. "Mr. Jordan, I have something that belongs to you, something you didn't even know was missing." The line went silent for a few agonizing seconds, and then, as if on cue, Michael's email chime sounded. With a furrowed brow, he logged into his secure account. There, waiting in his inbox, was a single email with no subject line, only an attachment. Clicking it open, Michael found a high-resolution photograph of an aged leather journal. Its cover was a deep mahogany, worn at the edges, and embossed on the front in elegant, faded gold lettering was his name, Michael Jordan. Beneath the image, a brief message read, "Return to where it all began. 1 a.m. Courtview Community Center." A friend. Michael's heart pounded. Memories from his early days, long nights on a battered outdoor court. Dreams that felt almost too big for a small-town boy flooded back. Who could have sent this? Who dared to call him at such an hour? Stirring emotions he had long since tucked away. With little time to ponder, he knew one thing for sure. This was personal, and it demanded his attention. After a few moments of reflection, Michael dialed his longtime security chief, Aaron. "Aaron, I need a discreet ride. I'm heading to Courtview Community Center in Midfield. And please, no backup, just a car for now." "Sir, are you sure about this? It's nearly 1 a.m., and that address is in the heart of Old Midfield," Aaron replied with professional concern. Michael's tone was calm yet resolute. "Aaron, sometimes the answers we need lie where we started. Just get me there quietly." In a sleek, dark sedan parked under the glow of a street lamp, Michael left his modern mansion behind and drove through the quiet streets of Midfield. The familiar sights, small storefronts, a local diner with neon lights buzzing softly, and the well-worn sidewalks evoked a bittersweet nostalgia. This was a place he had once called home, a town that had cheered for him long before he became a global phenomenon. As the car pulled up to Courtview Community Center, a modest building with a faded sign and a single light illuminating the entrance, Michael felt his pulse quicken. The center was tucked away on a side street, its exterior weathered but full of character, adorned with murals of kids playing basketball and inspirational quotes spray painted in vibrant hues. Taking a deep breath, he stepped out of the car and approached the door. His footsteps echoed on the cracked pavement as he reached for the handle. The door swung open silently, and he was greeted by the warm glow of a single overhead light and the inviting smell of old books mixed with freshly brewed coffee. Inside, the community center was a stark contrast to the polished halls of professional arenas. It was a haven for those who had been overlooked, a place where dreams were nurtured in quiet corners, and where every dent in the wall told a story of resilience. The walls were lined with photographs of local youth teams, faded posters of community events, and handwritten notes of encouragement pinned by those whose lives had been touched by the center's modest programs. A woman stood at the front desk. Her eyes, gentle yet determined, met his with a mix of surprise and relief. "Mr. Jordan, I wasn't sure you'd come," she said softly. Her name tag read Alexis Carter. Michael nodded, unable to hide the wonder in his eyes. "I received your message," he said, "and this journal, it stirred memories I thought I'd long buried." Alexis led him into a small lounge area decorated with mismatched chairs and a chalkboard filled with inspirational quotes. "This place," she began, "has been a refuge for the community since the early 90s. It was founded by someone who believed that every kid deserves a chance to dream, to play, to be heard." Michael's gaze fell to the leather journal clutched in his hand, a journal he didn't remember ever owning. "Who is this friend?" he asked quietly. Alexis hesitated for a moment before replying. Her name was Denise. Denise Lawson was a humble soul who worked here as a custodian when you were just beginning your journey. She had an eye for spotting hidden potential and a heart that saw beyond the glitter of fame. She once left anonymous notes for you, small nudges of wisdom when you needed them most. That night, as Michael sat in a quiet corner of the community center with Alexis, he carefully opened the journal. Each page was filled with neat, looping handwriting. Denise's words were candid, tender, and remarkably perceptive. In one entry dated September 12, 1981, she wrote, "Tonight, I saw Michael on the cracked court outside the old high school. His passion for the game burned brighter than any spotlight. He may not know it, but every dribble echoes the heartbeat of this town. I believe in him even when no one else does." Michael's eyes watered as he read the entry. Denise had been there, unseen, witnessing his struggles and triumphs in a time when the world was not yet ready for a young man with boundless talent and a fierce determination to rise above adversity. Each subsequent page detailed small acts of kindness, humble observations of his early practices, and heartfelt pleas for him to remain true to himself even as he ascended to global stardom. The deeper Michael delved into the journal, the more he realized that Denise had not only chronicled his journey, but also the impact his early efforts had on the community. Her words painted a portrait of a town that had invested its hope in him, a town that had cheered him on through every setback and celebrated every victory, no matter how small. In her final entries, Denise revealed her own dreams of giving back, of using her modest means to build something lasting for the kids of Midfield, a community center that would nurture the next generation of dreamers. Alexis looked on as Michael's expression softened from curiosity to profound gratitude and sorrow. "Denise believed in you even when you were just a kid playing on cracked asphalt," she said gently. "She saw your potential and wanted to help build a future for those like you, those who dare to dream despite the odds." Michael closed the journal slowly, as if savoring every word, every memory. "I've built my career on winning on the court, but I've always wondered if there was more, if I could use my platform to give back in a meaningful way," he murmured. "This journal, it's a reminder that my story isn't just about championships. It's about the lives I've touched, the dreams I've inspired." The next morning, as dawn broke over Midfield, Michael found himself standing in the small, sunlit gymnasium of Courtview Community Center. The air was crisp, and the quiet murmur of early risers, the sound of sneakers squeaking on worn wood, the echo of bouncing basketballs filled the space with a palpable sense of hope. In that moment, Michael made a decision. He would honor Denise's legacy by transforming this community center into a beacon of opportunity for the youth of Midfield. He envisioned creating a program that would not only provide world-class basketball training but also focus on academic support, mentorship, and life skills helping kids who struggled in traditional systems find their own path to success. Gathering with the local community later that day, Michael addressed a small crowd gathered on the cracked outdoor court. His voice, deep and resonant, carried both authority and heartfelt emotion. "I stand before you tonight as a reminder that our journeys are never truly our own. The support we receive, the little acts of kindness and belief build the foundation of our success. Denise Lawson saw something in me that day on the court, and I want to be that beacon for you. No matter where you come from, no matter what challenges you face, know that your dreams are valid and your potential is limitless." Tears glistened in the eyes of parents, coaches, and local kids as Michael shared his vision. He outlined plans for a new youth program, one that would offer scholarships for sports training, academic tutoring, and mentorship opportunities with former athletes and community leaders. "This is more than just a game," he declared. "This is about giving each of you the chance to believe in yourself, to know that every setback can be a setup for a greater comeback." In the weeks that followed, Michael worked tirelessly alongside local volunteers and community leaders. He secured funding from sponsors who believed in his vision, and he even arranged for a series of inspirational workshops where he shared his own struggles and triumphs, from the early days of relentless practice on outdoor courts to the heights of global success. His message was clear: greatness is not measured solely by accolades, but by the courage to lift others up along the way. The transformation of Courtview Community Center was nothing short of miraculous. New basketball courts were refurbished with vibrant murals, classrooms were equipped with computers and creative learning tools, and mentors from all walks of life stepped forward to share their knowledge and support. For many of the town's children, the center became a second home, a place where they could hone their skills, build lasting friendships, and, most importantly, learn that their dreams mattered. At the grand reopening of the center, a celebration filled with laughter, heartfelt speeches, and the sound of bouncing basketballs, Michael took the stage once more. This time, he spoke not just as a former athlete, but as a guardian of dreams. "I want you all to remember that sometimes our most powerful victories aren't the ones we celebrate on television. They're the quiet moments when we decide to stand up for what's right, when we choose to help someone in need, even when it costs us something." Denise Lawson's legacy lives on here, in every game played, every lesson learned, and every life transformed. He paused, scanning the sea of eager faces before him, faces filled with hope and determination. Wherever you are watching from, whether you're in a big city or a small town, remember that every act of kindness creates ripples that can change the world. Let us keep those ripples going. Like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Stories if this story inspires you. And let us spread the message that sometimes the biggest dreams are built on the simplest acts of love. As the applause swelled, Michael's eyes shone with a quiet resolve. That night, under the soft glow of streetlights and the gentle murmur of a community coming together, he made a promise to himself and to all who believed in him to keep pushing for a future where every child could see the greatness within themselves, a future where kindness, understanding, and the courage to dream became the cornerstones of success. Months later, Courtview Community Center had become a thriving hub of inspiration and learning. The new youth program was in full swing, with kids from every background coming together to play, learn, and grow. Michael Jordan's involvement had not only revitalized a once-forgotten community center, but had ignited a movement that reminded everyone that greatness is nurtured by the community that supports it. In a quiet moment one evening, as Michael sat on a bench in the center's newly created reflection garden, he looked out over a basketball court where children practiced with unbridled enthusiasm. He remembered the mysterious journal, the midnight call, and the unknown friend who had once seen something in him that no one else had. That friend, Denise Lawson, had believed in the power of small acts to create enormous change. Her words echoed in his heart as he scribbled a few notes in a small notebook he kept for such moments of reflection. Sometimes the most profound legacies aren't the ones we build alone, but the ones that are built through the kindness we share, he wrote. May every child who steps onto this court know that their dreams are worth fighting for. And so, Michael continued his journey not as the untouchable superstar of the past, but as a mentor, a guide, and a friend to all those who dared to dream. His message was simple yet powerful. True success is measured not by trophies or titles, but by the lives we touch and the hope we inspire. If this story moved you even in just one small way, remember that every act of kindness creates a ripple effect. Drop your city and country in the comments below. Let us know where you're watching from. And if you believe that sometimes the quietest voices change the world the most, like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder that greatness comes in many forms. Subscribe to Timeless Stories for more narratives that celebrate the human spirit, and together, let us keep the legacy of kindness alive. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. Let us remember, every small act of love, every moment of compassion, is a stepping stone to a brighter future, not just on the court, but in every corner of our lives.